There are millions of people all over the world who did a doctoral program and postdoctoral research in anatomy of the brain. But that would not make any difference in their understanding. It's all a mindset, Tintin. Mind is critical. With what mindset somebody learns something. That's very critical. So their mindset is to learn the neuroanatomy. That's all. Not from the perspective of how it creates and maintains or how it sustains the so-called human state in that body. There is the wonder. But nevertheless, there is human physiology and anatomy at the school level compulsorily. But that they learn, it is a chart outside. And outside, the mindset or the attention. I have told you, attention is the critical engine. Attention is the only one critical engine. Only one critical engine. Not only of human being, but of every other entities in the whole planet Earth, including that of an earthworm or even an amoeba. Even an amoeba can identify what is the appropriate environment for survival. How does it identify? Whatever that signal detection system, okay, that is called attention. So when the children learn physiology or anatomy of the brain in the classrooms, their attention is to somehow learn it, somehow comprehend it for the sake of writing examinations. I don't think any teacher would have the confidence and the mindset to invite the attention of the children that this is the system very much inside you. Even then it is a statement. It is not easy to visualize the brain and the glands and the organs inside the human body. There will be some kind of an artificiality. It needs the training of attention to go into the internal realities. What we call, in psychology, that sensitivity is called proprioception. That is never trained. It is not easy to train. So without that proprioception, there is not much advantage, but at least little bit of an attitude that I am nothing but a flesh, blood, bone structure driven by the energy generation and energy management or energy distribution of the central nervous system. And through that we can get into touch with the manifestation of the world outside. Because everything is a manifestation of energy field operations behind the scene, behind the ground, which are all absolutely invisible. But that can be sort of sensed by our power of attention. That's all. The tree grows, the seed falls and the tree grows, the bird flies, the wind moves, the mountains are there. They are all there by some other forces working beneath. So is the central nervous system working so silently within every one of us. Okay, when I say this, what you can do? Okay, you focus your eyes, though it is projecting outward, you can focus your visualization back into the body. Try to see that the way you want to see it.
Is it only me or is the voice breaking?
Is the voice breaking?
I can hear your voice not very clearly. Is it my network issue?
It's okay for me.
How is it now?
Must be my problem.
How is it now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yeah. I told just now, that we should have the uncorrupt freedom of our mind. Mind is the operating spark to direct our attention to the interiors of this entity the way you would like to do it, the way you are comfortable to do it. So, of course, you can seek the help of an available chart of the anatomy. But that is after all a drawing or a painting. When you open the body, it would not look like that. So, you proceed. Sometime back I told you, you proceed to look inside your body as a sack of skin containing beautifully colored bright pearls of green or bright red in color. That's enough. Because it's all cells. Basically, everything is made of cell structure, cell, C-E-L-L, cell, where it is the heart or the lungs or the spleen or the intestinal canal or the kidneys or the bones or the brain. They're all nothing but structures of cells. Okay, different categories of cells, but you can adopt your perception strategy to look at all of them as a uniform distribution of bright, beautiful, reddish pearls, small pearls. I say this because that's what I tried. You can have your own comfortable mode of visualization. The requirement is that your attention, that means the energy created by the very engines of the body, which is attention, should reverberate back into itself. That's all. And it should be absolutely free, absolutely detached from any of the mindset concerns like I want to get this, as a result of this I will get whatever feeling, etc., etc. It should be a purely karmanya vadhigarasthai, ma phaleshu kadajana. That means without expecting any results, you just to do that activity of a little child of playing with a piece of wooden block. What is the attitude of a child when it is playing with a wooden block or a piece of flower? Just one side, just one hand clapping, that's all. When that one hand is clapping with all the trust and sincerity, the other hand will automatically start clapping. But that will not be a clap sound. That will be kind of a tuning. There will not be anything that you can sense, S-E-N-S-E. Look at yourself. For example, you are in love with someone. What do you sense? You don't sense anything, but there is a feeling. When he comes before you, when she comes before you, there is a feeling. That feeling is not directly correlated to any of the physical, any of the non-matter configuration. It is the mindset that he has come before you or she has come before you or she looks like an angel. Okay? So, only that feeling. So you'll get that kind of a feeling, perhaps. Even that kind of a feeling may not be there because it is tuning with the feelingless nature process. So, that's why great majority of people are not that inspired to continue their meditation, Because they are all hoping for some results. They are all hoping to get something. There is nothing to get. But, okay, I don't want to say that. Because when you are driving towards Kodaikanal, you are driving. You have never seen Kodaikanal. So focus on your driving. Do it very elegantly, very, very creatively, and with all your alertness in driving the engine. And you will end up in Kodaikanal. But in between, how can you entertain any images of Kodaikanal? which you have never seen. You can, at any given point of time, you can see only the exact road, exact terrain where you are driving. So go on driving. Definitely, one day it has to reach there. Then you will get a kind of a conviction. Even these are all words. When I say you get a conviction, what is the referent of a conviction, Parvati? What is the referent of conviction, Vinay? You know,
Experience.
you are referring to some kind of a vague, I don't know whether, is there a vague feeling even? Okay? It's a state, okay, we can roughly say a so-called conviction. For example, Vinay, he is a genius in medicine, okay, out of his experience, okay. He has a conviction, which he may talk out, but what is the referent of that conviction? Just a vague awareness. Even a vague awareness is there, I doubt. But somehow you are able to make the statement before an audience also. Get the point? Something similar will happen when you focus your attention on your inside, which you are bound to do because 99% of the time, maybe all the time, the child's attention has been taken to outside. And naturally the child will be bewildered by the details of things in the environment. Because rarely a child is born and brought up in a very ambiguous environment of a forest hut, where there is only ambiguity all the time. So that intelligence or the developing neuronal process of the entity is exposed always to uncertainty, you know. Therefore it is all the time free. When you are certain, your freedom is gone, actually. In the sense that when you are certain about the location of Kodaikanal, you just drive, you know. You don't have to be alert. If you do not know the route to Kodaikanal, when there are 100 roads present, you have to be all the time alert. But you drive. So by freedom I mean that alertness, that non-sleeping state of your attention. It shall never sleep. It shall never be in a mode of taken for granted state. It has to be all the time alert. It is not a great thing. It is the case with I see every cat, every bird, every butterfly. However gently I walk outside, instantly all the parrots fly away. You see? The other day, we were preparing a kind of a rasayanik oil, and next day I opened the lid. Then I saw a medium-sized ant floating on the condensed piece of ghee, floating on top. Then what I did is I put a stick. I placed a stick on its root so that it can hold on to that and climb up. And whenever the stick approached it, it was moving away. So this is not a correct observation in this context. And by the time the heat is coming up, and it died on the top of that iceberg kind of moving piece of ghee. Then I picked it with my hand and threw it away. But had it climbed on that stick, it could have been saved. So what I mean to say that its sensitivity has been trained like that. Even a tip of a small piece of dry stick, less than the size of a pencil rod inside, But its alertness led to its own danger. That's a different story. From that, I also realized that at times you have to trust your enemy. Maybe for the time being he is inimical to you, but somehow interacting with him or moving with him or her, you will be liberated from a greater danger. How are you, Vinay? All right. Yeah, Naveen, how are things in Patna?
Yeah, good sir, fine.
The CM is finalized. Who is the CM?
Yeah, it will get set on Monday. The vote of trust. The party will get the vote of trust on 12th of February, on Monday.
On Monday only you will know who is the
But
CM, huh?
CM is, yeah. Then it
Oh,
will get finalized.
okay.
But before that, CM is already Nitish Kumar. Yeah, he has been chosen.
Okay.
Voting.
I think we lost Naveen ji.
Anyway, CM will be Nitish Kumar, that's all. That's all, Tintin.
Is
Any news from CM, sir? Naveen ji, your line is breaking. We can't hear you.
Leave it.
am I
Okay, leave it. Leave it, Tintin. Come on, Parvati, anything?
No, nothing, Sundarji.
Vinay, any questions?
Nothing particular.
Arjun?
You were,
Vivek, any questions?
So, am I visible?
Not visible, but at least audible. Come on, ask the question.
So far, sir, no further questions. But I think I seem to have missed few more sessions. So I have to catch up on that. I will go back to the YouTube videos. I'll recordings again, and
Okay.
if possible, I'll get back to you if there is any question. Because as of now, there's no question.
Okay.
am I
last
audible
week
now,
you
sir?
had. Now you're audible,
I
Naveen
asked
ji.
Tintin.
Yeah, okay. I have a question to sir.
Okay.
Sir, what is meditation?
Okay.
Is it a set of process or is it an act of mind?
It's an act of mind. Everything at the human level, Naveen. Unfortunately or fortunately, as of now, should be triggered by the mind, by the intent of the mind, which leads to a process. Okay? Alright? So the question contains both. There is an intent
Yes,
which
sir.
is leading to a process, an intent which is maintaining a process. Yes. What is that process? It is a process inevitably involving the active role of attention. Okay? What,
Okay.
what is the intent for meditation or intent of meditation? Is it to identify something, locate something? Is it to enable something? Okay? If it is a process, now you know that the entire universe is a process, every human activity is a process, and the process meaning something that starts with an intent and ends up in a result. Okay? So, an intent for meditation is more or less inevitably for a result.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, it must have been there even with the ancient rishis. They must have been puzzled about the reality that they watched everywhere around. Since their minds were uncorrupted with any logical available explanation of things, they were bewildered by the winds and the breeze and the stars and the nights and the days. Okay? The growth of the plants and the flight of the birds. So they wanted to know that. What is behind all those things? That could have been possibly the intent for their focusing of attention onto the realities they observed around. But they realized that the visible reality is not the reality. Visible reality is there. They wanted to know what is driving the visible reality. So the only way is to try with your attention. Because, okay, you wanted to know the reality of a tree. Okay, you pluck it out. Then you see the roots. Just, so what? How come it grew? You cannot see the operating reality every millisecond, how the roots go down and whatever is observed and enabling the evolution of size and shape of the tree. You cannot observe. You cannot just see. Then the only way is attention. Because attention is an energy field. There is no other tool anyway. So focus your attention on a tree. That's what Buddha did. He felt he himself a tree. Like a tree being stationed there in the ground and growing, he just stationed under the tree and felt one with the tree, and by which he could see what is operating behind the tree as well as within him. So that's the power of attention. So always experiment with your attention every day. I do that every day. There is no end to that. It is a marvelously enjoyable procedure, Naveen. Just to float around with your attention. You can do a strategy of either just to follow it or just to give it a directional intent. Okay, I want to know this. Not exactly, I mean, if you verify that. And one day it will touch the bird's eye of your intent, no doubt.
It means
So
the
anyway,
attentive
no,
mind.
wait. What was your question?
Okay,
Did
sir.
I answer it fully?
It means the attentive mind is the meditation.
Pardon me?
Attentive mind,
Sensing
attention.
mind. Sensing,
Attentive, yeah.
sensing mind. Eh?
No, attentive, attention.
Yeah, attention, yes.
Attentive mind is the meditation.
Attention to one's own mind. Yeah.
On to anything, yes.
Attention focused on anything is meditation, Naveen.
Yeah, that is the, yes, sir, then.
It can be
Okay,
focused
got it.
on a piece of black stone on a white wall. It can be on a flame. It can be on the form of a deity. It can be on a project report. It can be on anything. Normally it is a little bit corrupted that if it is focused on a deity, it is meditation. Okay? If it is focused on identifying or constantly with opened eyes, with opened tip, if the attention goes inside, it is to identify that operating principle within the body, within the universe of the body. That is the principle of Zen meditation. You just sit still and allow the attention to free float and follow that attention. That is Zen meditation. Zen, actually, the word Zen means sitting in meditation. Zen is the short form of Zazen, Z-A-Z-E-N. That means a way of sitting absolutely freely and comfortably with a lot of practice, and then follow the attention. Attention going around, flying here and there, flying here and there. Finally, it will end up on the branch
It's 22 hours.
entity that the prana or the operating entity of the you, the bird of the you also is sitting. That's all.
Okay, right. So,
We can focus your attention, so-called meditation on a deity also, provided you have complete clarity about what aspect of existence that deity is representing. But they are all very unlikely to provide any result because the mind sitting is already corrupted unconsciously about an image and description of the deity. So it will not take you anywhere. There is only one record about Meera and Krishna, we hear about that. That only Meera knows whether she could achieve communion with the idea of Krishna, we don't know. So, it can be with anything. So attention at a higher level of genius in self or as operating managers or leaders or executives or whatever it is, you have to train your attention in a practical level of grasping the referent and the referent reality of whatever is being thought or heard or read. That's all. That itself is a tough task. It's an enjoyable task. Most of the time you do a lot of practice by reading great poetry, especially great poetry, or even beautiful romantic lyric. Recently a Tamil song is becoming very, very popular. It has been there, I think, since 2010 or so. So in the latest film, that song is running in the background of a very unique scene. So I just heard it. I don't actually go to the words normally. Okay. And for example, in fact, when you experiment with your attention, take something that is attractive, that captures your mindset easily without any extra effort. That is the advantage of deities. You know, if you choose the deity as the figure of Jesus or Mariam or Buddha or Krishna or Parvati or Shiva, then half of the work is done because an established informative setting is already available in the unconscious as well as the subconscious as well as in the consciousness. So half of the job is done. The target of intent is somewhat clear. Now what is required is that the arrow of attention hitting the target. Alright? That's the principle of Shanoyu, tea ceremony also. Tea ceremony is an act of enlightenment. As we have discussed it before, the great Zen masters quickly identified that the operating principle of the human entity is all the time present. Not only when you sit in sasana. It is present even when you are cooking a cup of tea. Then why don't you cook a cup of tea? That is the logic behind Shanoyu or tea ceremony. Okay? Where you can enjoy the taste, there is a lot of activities involved in it. there is the movement of your body initiated by the intent of you. So there are a lot of variables, very, very advantageous. So when we are talking about, right now we were talking about the referent. For so in that lyric, most of the romantic lyrics of Tamil, I would say, is the top of the world. No lyrics in the entire world is anywhere near some of the Tamil lyrics. In its subtlety and in its dangerous configuration, dangerously creative configuration. So there is one single line. பார்வையால் உசிரையே தொட்டவள் நீயடி. Okay. பார்வையால் உசிரையே தொட்டவள் நீயடி. That's one line. That is, by your single look, or your single look has touched my soul. Okay, we get a beautiful experience. But what is the referent of that activity? Which is somewhat clear to us, you know. So there is the beautiful girl, and her furtive glance upon you is touching your soul, S-O-U-L, soul. So what is the referent of that? Which I am sure most of you men must have definitely experienced at least once in your lifetime. The glance of a beautiful girl suddenly like an arrow hitting your heart. So every moment is a wonderful moment. That's why life is beautiful. When you do not take anything for granted, life is really, really very marvelous. And when you do that, life cannot be but friendly with you. It will never defeat you. It will never defeat you. But of course, turbulence will be there, so long as you are engaged in your linkages with the society or in a workplace. That doesn't matter at all. That absolutely doesn't matter. Because my life was full of such turbulence only. I don't remember even a single so-called negative moment in my life. So-called negative.
So what you're saying is there was, but you never perceived it as a negative
Yeah, that's also,
situation. Right?
yeah, seeing something negative is the work of, trained work of our attention. With a lot of effort. We have been trained by the environment, by the very instructions of the parents and the society and other campaigns. Even lack of food is not negative. But being physically attacked by somebody, okay, it is physically negative, or somebody taking it into dangerous situations of legal issues where you are not at all involved. Those kind of negatives can be there. Even then, actually, anyway, when you are in tune with the nature process, when you are in tune with your own entity, which is an integral part of the nature, nothing of that sort will ever happen. It is not possible. It is not possible for any human being to defeat nature. It is as simple as that. Get the point?
Yes,
You
sir.
may cut a tree down with an axe, and you think that you have been successful in defeating the tree. Actually, no. You have resorted to the help of an axe, and the tree could sustain at least 10-20 cuts, but your body will be dead in one cut. is virtually nothing a human being can be proud of in conquering the so-called nature. In the very past, in the primitive times, they used some stone tools, then iron tools, okay? And then, of course, explosive guns and a sword and all that. What are they? They are all items taken from the nature process only. With a bare body, what a human being can do, which every other creature is getting its food by its bare body, okay? There is no bullet, there is no gun, there is no what you call knife or sword with a cat, with a bird, with a lion, with a tiger. They are the most successful beings than the human beings. Actually, okay, that's a different story. Human beings are much more creative, so they developed the tools and weapons and other equipment by which they are claiming to be conquering nature process. Okay, let them think so. They are not able to conquer their own nature process. They are not able to manage their own minds. They are all victims of minds and the campaigns about minds. Okay? How many human beings are really with integrity and correct self-confidence today? Who can stand alone? Without being victims of centricity and conformity.
Sir, can
Yeah.
I ask you a question?
Why not, Nitya?
I came across this term Kriya Yoga. What is that?
Nitya, I have not so-called studied the literature about various methods of yoga, various methods of pranayama and all that. They are all textbookish kind of instructions to the normal distribution of population so that they can try to access what they are all aspiring for, or trying that they can live a whole lifetime, that's all. So normally Kriya Yoga, Kriya meaning an action, an activity. So what I have not referred to, but from various chance encounters with people, I realize that it is basically one or other forms of pranayama only. I think so. I don't know much about that. But yoga meaning you know.
Yes.
Your conscious entity coming into coalition, coming into tuning, coming into harmony, coming into oneness with that operating pranic energy, that energy field of the you. So, like the Zen Master suggested, just cooking a cup of tea, there can be various kriyas also, which can be much little more advantageous. Because, for example, in pranayama, you are directly dealing with the body process. Okay? So it is much more convenient to get across that operating principle by which the very respiration happens. Pranayama, ayama meaning exercising or attempt with the focus. Prana meaning, actually prana means one of the central force fields of the body. which is being replenished by the so-called oxygen intake from the atmosphere. Okay. So, why pranayama is very advantageous and critical is because behaving with it, you can much more advantageously or comfortably or more or less easily come across the that which is doing this very gigantic movement in the body, which is being done even when you are sitting there without your conscious initiative, without your intent. With your intent also you can do. So when you do it with your intent of regulating the breathing pattern, there are so many formula for that. All of them are identical in subjective to come across that which is doing the other side of respiration. Okay? With your intent you regulate the flow to a certain extent, then whatever you have been regulating is taken out of your control by something else, whatever in the body. So in that tug of war, in that cycling, one pedal is with you. What? You are controlling a certain part. And the other pedal is with something else. Beyond the point of your restriction, the other thing takes control over it. Forcibly takes the control. So in that juggling, you keep your attention very intact and faithfully focused on identifying that which is taking the control of respiration from you. That is the essence of all pranayama. I think that's the essence of any yoga where some kriya, some activity is involved. Same is the case with upavasa. Upavasa meaning, that's the correct Sanskrit word for denying food to the body. English language uses a stupid word called fasting. But upavasa is the right thing. It is the right naming of the referent involved. That is upa meaning near, vasa meaning to stay. Okay? So, by denying food, your consciousness or your attention can stay closer to something. The principle is the same. That which is asking for food, like that which was asking for prana energy, that which is asking for food can be potentially identified provided your attention is unaffected and free to locate that moment where that which is asking for food is present. Get the point?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So all these fundamentals are connected with the core activity of the body. Upavasa, what? The food intake. Food is the essential requirement for the creature. And much more closer is air. So air, food, first air, then food, and then the third is sexual instinct. Okay? So sexual instinct also can be utilized for enlightenment or identifying that operating entity. What is that which is triggering that sexual instinct? That also can be utilized effectively to identify that operating principle in you. Because that is the satyam. Because all that is manifested there, writing now, sitting there with a cloth and an ego, a self-image, huh? That is all driven by that principal force. That primal source, so you are seeing, which must be a focus of or a target of curiosity for every above threshold sensitive human being, rather than get confused by the exhibition of activities around. And that is possible normally only with the people above the prosteric sigma sense of sensitivity and intellectual power, which will get naturally suspicious about what is driving me. Even you are driving, even you are cooking, every moment that is operating. But as I told in the beginning, your attempt to identify that should be absolutely uncontaminated with any mental content. Because as soon as the mental content is there, it is a block. You know? That could be the core interpretation of karmanye vadhigarasya mahaphaleshu kadachana. You just do the karma. You just do the activity of directing your attention, just like that, without anticipating discovery of something. Then wherever it hits, it is a hit of the original attention. Otherwise it is being driven by the mental content. Get the point, Nitya? Mm-hmm. I want to get enlightened, with no idea of what is that. You know? That is the principle of sasan also in Zen, just sitting there. Sasan actually means simply sitting, that's all. That's also good. But necessarily, when we think about that, there is the need of some kind of an abandonment, some kind of a so-called detachment. Because every moment, perhaps even our sitting in a certain place could be probably directed by some unconscious content in Nitya. That's the problem, you know. Because as I said, now so everybody agreed, the mind is more than 80% is unconscious contents. Even when you so-called freely choose something, there is no guarantee that it is not influenced by any unconscious content. That's why they all talk about absolute detachment, so-called detachment. The referent of that detachment is total liberation from any of the contents of the mind. The so-called Zen perspective of simply sitting. Or perhaps you may have heard the whatever is reported about one of the rishis of modern times, Ramana Maharshi. Ramanan, so-called Ramanan was a boy from a poorest of poor families, somewhere in a place, wherever it is in Tamil Nadu. He earned an income, or he was guided to make some income by taking care of the goats of the village. Okay? So he would take the goats to the nearby hilly, what you call jungle areas, be with them for the whole day and then come back. And he would be given food or whatever. So you can see the mind of that boy. Walking with a crowd of sheep and moving in the jungle. He has to be alert about the herd of, the sheep not being waylaid in the process. And there was a dilapidated ancient small temple structure inside that forest, in absolutely dilapidated condition. So once in a while he used to sit there watching the goats grazing around. And one day he developed a fever. And first day, second day, third day it was uncontrollable. Then according to the reports he lied down on the whatever remaining part of the wall of the temple, absolutely ready to die. He must have been absolutely ready to die, because there is no other way. And from that, after some indefinite time, he got up as the future Ramana Maharshi. he got a taste of what is operating behind. He must have come across that moment of separation of the so-called life force from the body. Perhaps somebody else would have died, we don't know, it's all chance factors. But because his body was a little bit toughened by his experience of moving around with the gods and starvation and all that, therefore he did not die. But his consciousness definitely completely ended up. When the consciousness content is ended, then what is remaining? When the contents are over, what is remaining, Nitya? That plain so-called super consciousness, which is a part of the universe around. The consciousness, whatever we name as consciousness, the wording is the greatest tragedy. And without which we cannot move also, that's another tragedy. So the so-called whatever that is named so-called consciousness, or that which makes us aware of whatever is going on, that is spread all around the surface of planet Earth. This much I am sure. I don't know whether it is beyond that. So that general light is present in this also. And when it is present in this, by other people calling you names and addressing you and touching you, the certain part of the this gets connected with that, and that only lights the this in you, and you are trapped inside this, and from this you can get out, and then you become plainly that consciousness without the content of the this. Get the point? Yeah. That they name as universal consciousness, all the things with the genuine intent of talking about it. But it is as simple as what I explained. So when that is there, then whatever you talk reflects that level. So Ramana Maharshi talked about that, that's all. So what the essence is that somehow this current self has to be completely subdued and what you call it, made out of focus. That is the process of meditation, Naveen. Making the contents of your consciousness out of focus by constantly focusing your attention on something outside. And when you realize all these things, what will happen, you think? Nothing. You have to look at what Ramana Maharshi was. People think that then you have to live like Ramana Maharshi. I don't know if you have seen his photograph. Towards his old age, he just wore a piece of cloth to cover his penis, that's all. Because he could see that the human body is nothing but an integral part of the world, but he had to cover that part maybe because when somebody else is around. This kind of, I would say, mistakes they have done. I would say it was a mistake on the part of Ramana Maharshi to do that. It's a mistake on the part of whoever. We don't know what Buddha actually did. It's a mistake on the part of Osho to dress up like that. It's a mistake on the part of Vivekananda to dress up like that. It's a mistake on the part of all these so-called modern gurus to do like that. In the sense that it misleads the normal population, If you are able to see what I said for a moment, that's all about it. Okay? Whether you touch that so-called universal consciousness or consciousness beyond, or that consciousness which was there when you were born as an infant, alright, that's all. That's what the Zen calls the original consciousness, or what the Zen again calls the mind of no mind. These are all language jargons. Okay, with a genuine purpose to make your attention somehow capture the possible, probable nature of the referent and the referent reality. And I am sure all this will work within you. Don't worry about it. Don't be impatient. Just be cool about whatever you hear. That's also very important. Don't give much importance to all this also, Nitya. That's also very wrong. Because again then the mind is doing an investment there. Kind of a mutual fund investment. Just leave it.
That is so true, sir. Actually, not about this. I'm just talking about in general. I heard people saying if it is for a church or a temple, people will give their best effort because the return of investment is high there. But if it's for a common association or any other organization, they won't give that much.
Exactly, yeah. Anyway, sorry to say, get out of the centricity conformity, get out of all your images and perceptions about the society around. It is a secret statement, of course. The ultimate reality is that you are born alone and you will die alone. And actually you are traveling alone only. Everybody else is in your memory, everybody else is in your mind, everybody else may be physically present, that's all. They are not connected with your body by flesh and blood flow, am I right? That's all. But it does not mean that you anyway underestimate them, offer all your love and concern and support and benevolence. That's a different issue. But the fact remains a fact. The building is never connected with the furniture, okay? And do not talk about it publicly either. Unless you train a group of people to listen to this level. Do you doubt why you should listen to all these things?
No, sir.
No. Actually, sorry.
Yeah.
I did doubt sometime, and then I was thinking that there is something in me which wants to be part of it again. So I don't know.
That's
Then
quite
I was
beautiful. That's quite beautiful.
What I feel is you have copied my mind, and whatever is running my mind, you will just touch upon the same topics.
Why do you say that?
It happens many times. It has happened.
That's a possibility when you are genuine, all right. Just also as a researcher I can say absolutely sure that so-called ordinary minds just cannot be interested in this. Why I'm not underestimating them. Like ordinary minds just cannot enjoy Pandit Bhimsen Joshi, that's all. Ordinary minds just cannot think of climbing Mount Everest. It's as simple as that. Nothing wrong about ordinary minds, that's all. Nothing wrong, there's no right or wrong. That normal distribution principle, that plus 3 sigma kind of, even everybody does not reach top in Olympics or so we are all kind of top in the Olympics of your intellects, that's all. I would say which is tougher than reaching top in real Olympics race. That's a physical activity, and once you reach the top it is over. That's why everybody says mind, mastering the mind is the greatest mastery. Conquering the self is the greatest conquer. Everyone says that. Even all those great people will also agree. Even the greatest singer, greatest Olympian, the greatest entrepreneur, the greatest philosopher, the greatest in any field, the greatest leader, all of them will definitely agree the ultimate is so-called enlightenment. No doubt about that. And they agreed also. Because that's about that operating principle. Why should you become a musician or a leader or a runner or an administration or whatever? That is the operating principle. And those who are interested in that operating principle, they are the greatest human beings. It is not my opinion. That is what Krishna said, that's what Buddha said, that's what all the Upanishads, Rishis said. In the Prasad Upanishad, the Guru is asking, why are you interested in knowing about you? How can anybody be interested in knowing about oneself? That is the question. Ask to the disciple. How can the thing be concerned about the thing itself? You know, it is beyond the normal possibility. How can the beam of the torch would tend to flow back to itself? It is not a normal possibility. It is once in. It's a rarity. It's a 0.03 sigma phenomenon. Get the point? Because there is nothing attractive there. There is nothing visible there. There is nothing tangible there. There is nothing sensible there. You know? Well, definitely a great lot of people might have tried, we don't know. But it's absolute emptiness. It is absolute ambiguity, absolute uncertainty. So they all left it. It takes tremendous willpower and trust in oneself to continue the journey to the ambiguous and the unknown territories of the self beyond. There is nothing knowable. When all the sensitivities are trained to identify the knowable, A for apple and B for book, there is nothing like that. Because it is pure consciousness, it is pure emptiness. How can the non-empty be ever concerned about emptiness? It is a difficult proposition. Only very few can even be convinced about that journey, okay? A journey to nowhere. How many of you people will be interested? Ramana Maharshi had nothing else. Nobody at home, nobody to take care of, having this fear, no money to go to the local physician. So the best choice is to allow the death. So he lied down there ready to die. It is his own report. That's what happened to even Amridandamai. Had she not been chased in the shore of whatever sea with a stick to beat her and beat her to unconsciousness, she was almost near death. From that end point, the coming back will be to that original self. Because at that end point you will see, because you are mature by that time. Even an infant is in that state, but the infant sensitivity is not that wide enough or that fascinated with that ambiguity of that time. That's the case with Sai Baba also. He was close to death. A very powerful scorpion bit him. And he was taken to the nearby hospital, and they said he is almost about to die. Take him to some other hospital, some 40 miles away. And on the way, the people said he is dead. And that's what the case with Jesus also. They thought that he would be dead, because he was nailed onto the cross. Any human being would be dead. But he did not die. Next day morning they removed the nails and he fell down, because he was maybe weak. When they left, after some time he got up and walked away. That's what happened. This I am sure. So in our day-to-day life, do not get attached. Be simply floating our events and situations. Unknowingly, by training, you may get involved in the dialogue of somebody, in the relationship with somebody, and do it. And if you feel unconvinced about your role in that, you get out and wipe away the damages, that's all. Don't ever doubt you. Don't ever doubt you. Even when you are failing the 101st time. That's all. Who are you to doubt you? And even if you doubt, they are all happening within the football field of consciousness only. Right? That's all. Beyond that field, none of this matters. So, remember that once in a while. Don't insist on complete clarity, complete tuning all the time. That also is important. Even that is an attachment, Nitya. Get the point. That I have to be pure, I have to be like this all the time. Even that is an attachment. So perfect freedom. So be with any environment, be with anything, be with any whatever situations and contexts and relationships. But be aware that the real you in you is not a part of it. Even if it becomes a part of it by some compulsions, after some time you will come out, okay? That's enough. And at that point of time, that you is the you. Okay, do not invest, do not think that you are the memory. Everything is in the memory only. You are, you meaning, a human person is nothing but sum total of his or her memory about his or her backgrounds. Only memory. For example, what is that illness, Vinay? Oh.
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's, that's correct. We call it an illness, okay, because some chemicals are operating there. He has forgotten everything. Okay, that may be disadvantages in the normal day-to-day life. That's a different part. So memory has its own advantage to live in the normal life. That's all. But even if you think about that, how far your memory is operating. Right now Nitya is doing some job. Just observe, how much is your memory taking a role in the job you do? Memory of your BTech, memory of your computer programming, memory of whatever you learned, anything operates. At a critical point of confusion or doubt, you may discuss what is the formula here or what is the line here. I forgot it. Till then you are doing automatically. In principle, you don't do anything out of your memory. You drive your memory? Not at all. You write by your memory? Actually, no.
Maybe pay some bills, sir.
Pardon me?
Paying some bills. You have to remember to pay some bills.
Yeah. But of course, that memory is there, no doubt, operating very subtly from within the deeper unconscious, no doubt about that. But at least in times of confusion, you must realize that you must try to discern what amount of memory is troubling you. Or when there are so-called troublesome thoughts, no doubt they are all thoughts about the past. That past can be of yesterday. Or as a simple technique, every day you ensure that you are a nobody. That's enough. That is the Zen technology, Zen method. But be strategic also, so long as you are in working or in relationship with people. Allow lonely moments, that is the most critical things. To get rid of critical disturbing things, that's all. That's also a form of meditation, Naveen.
Yes,
Simply
sir.
be
Yeah.
alone, dangerously alone. That has its advantages also, because again you may not get anything immediately. There is sometimes a debate between me and Meenakshi. She is trying to achieve that state of nobodiness. As if that state itself is a somebodiness. It is not even that. To say. But I think it is workable. It has worked for me, so nothing very strange about me. So some constant effort. Practice is essential for human being, because that's why the system is made. But at the same time, when you are in tune, when you are really sincere and truthful and ethical, ethical is to be discussed. When, when at the required point of time, the axe will slip out of the handle and do the job. Even when you are at the height of your richness or opulence, consciously maintain that nobodiness within you. You can be sleeping in a so-and-so restaurant with a 2 lakh a day as rent, but don't get involved. You would be driving a Ferrari or Mercedes Benz, but don't get involved. That's all. You can be the CEO of a top corporation, but don't get involved.
I remember a monk, Buddhist monk, near the monastery. There was a hotel I was sitting, and this monk just walked in. They are allowed to walk inside out, and he picked some apricots from the tree, and the hotel staff literally abused him and shooed him away. And I suddenly remembered when you said this, he was absolutely, he did not say anything, he did not react anything, he just walked away
Oh.
at his own pace.
Where was it? In Dharmasala?
In Ladakh.
Oh, Ladakh, okay, yeah. That's all. Because there is no somebody in him to feel offended or intimidated or insulted or anything like that. He was like a little.
Suddenly when you said that, his face is coming so clear to me, the expression on his face.
Yes. He must be definitely a great monk, no doubt about that. There is symbolically this kind of a situation indicated to the disciples in the Zen monastery by a small parable. Parabolic situation. One guy was chased by a tiger, and he had to run towards a precipice, a huge precipice, and in order to escape from the tiger, he crept down and held on to the root of a cherry blossom tree with one hand. And deep down below is a precipice, he would die any time, falling. Then he saw a ripe cherry on the branch. So he took the cherry and enjoyed it. That's all. Sorry, there is some more part to that. So the tiger is standing waiting there, and he is holding on to the rope with his what you call trained samurai body, whatever it is. He could hang there for any time till the tiger is tired and leaves the place. Then he saw a rat, a wild rat is cutting that root. Yes. At that point of time, he pressed the cherry and eats it. That nobodiness is indicated by the famous Zen dialogue. When one of the great masters in Zen was asked what is Zen, he said, I eat when I am hungry. I drink when I am thirsty. That's all. The mind is that of a little boy. A unique little boy would do the same thing as that you saw with that monk. You know. Because that young boy does not understand what is insulting, what is intimidation, what is shouting, nothing. Okay? It got attracted with that apricot fruit or whatever. It just plucked it. Then the adults around come shouting. It will just look at you with wonder, and it will have a bite and it will walk away. It is almost like a Zen parable which you witnessed probably. You are very lucky to have witnessed that. It is not at all easy to come across such a situation. Yeah. My lizard is saying yes. You heard the sound? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Despite an alert cat who is determined to finish off all the lizards, I wonder, still one or two are surviving here, I wonder. What a risky life they are living.
Most alert.
Pardon me?
Most alert lizard.
Yeah, of course. And I wonder why does it make this sound once in a while, so that the cat will know its apparent location, you know. You have to consciously choose time to be with nature, driving alone through some unique roads, walking alone, sometimes getting up at 3 o'clock in the night and sitting, looking outside. These are all potential engagement with the nobodiness of you. Because there is nothing sensible to all the time derive out of looking at the empty, vast sky. There is nothing sensible looking at the dark expanse outside. But the creature would taste the neutrality of its existence. Allow that. Don't try to derive any meaning out of that. Any attempt to derive meaning is a trick of the mind. Don't be a victim of that. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this meeting. Wish you all beautiful times ahead. Bye-bye. Bye-bye Arjun, bye-bye Tintin, bye-bye Parvati, bye-bye Vivek, bye-bye Vinay, bye-bye Nitya, bye-bye Naveen.
Good night,
Thank you, sir.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Yes, good night.